Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ain Musfira binti Mustafa, and today I will talk about Kadazan Dusun. Kadazan Dusun is one of the ethnic from Sabah. So, there are a lot of theory about the word Dusun. The previous era said it as a legend because the word of Dusun had been used by English people and Malay people, which is referred to the people that live between beach coast and interior. There are some opinion that related to the word Dusun with Lausan, which is a group of Chinese immigrants that arrived at that state around 14th century. For the word of Kadazan had been using late from the word of Dusun because the word of Kadazan usually had been used by refer of the business, which is mean tamu, that exists around 1800 years ago. At the beginning, tamu was just a premise that had been using to sell agricultural product and forest resources that improved the shop. Dusun people that lived at that area had been called as Kadazan, which means kedai or shop. The word Kadazan means people who live near the shop or pekan, while Dusun people means people who lived at the interior, especially Ranau and Tampunan, while Kadazan people is people who live suburban such as Panampang and Papa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Muhammad Shazwan Rakib bin Shakam. I'm here to tell you all about the traditional dishes of the Kadazan people that are so famous and still continue this day. The first one is tuhau. Tuhau is one of the most popular traditional foods for people living in Sabah. It is known as Atlinjera coquina and is endemic to Borneo. It is a type of white ginger that grows in the forest of Sabah, Borneo, and it can be found in the interior of Sabah. Although it is white ginger, but it does not taste like ginger. So we can choose whether to like it or hate it because of its special smell. Tuhau is actually not a dish in itself, but we can think of it as a seasoning in traditional dishes. One of the methods of cooking tuhau is it can be eaten as an appetizer that we just have to chop it into small pieces. Then mix and serve tuhau with a pinch of salt, lemon juice, chopped chili small and diced garlic. The second is hinaba. Hinaba is a traditional dish for the Kadazan Dusun tribe living in Sabah. It is a unique dish because it is cooked without using fire. Hinaba is made from fresh fish fillets mixed with great tambangan seeds. It is also known as hinaba jiste. The fish fillets used are raw and do not need to be cooked as they will be cooked naturally using a squeeze of lemon juice. The fish that can be used in this dish is usually like mackerel or shark. Besides fish, it can also be replaced with shrimp or squid to prepare this dish. Usually, this inava will be served on certain occasions like weddings. It will also be a special dish during the festival of Pesta Keamatan or Tadau Keamatan. Lastly is boso. Boso, or known as tonsum, is also one of the traditional dishes for the Kadazan Dusun tribe. Sabah. Usually, it will be produced from kapayang fish or raw meat from hunting in the forest. The raw fish or meat used will be mixed first with white rice, salt, and fruits consisting of jackfruit, tuhau, and young pineapple for flavor enhancement. This bozo will also be mixed with bangi as a preservative that can prevent the bozo from becoming stale and smelly. All this mixture will be fermented in a container and tightly closed for a week or until it is completely cooked before it can be eaten. The bottle storage container should be airtight as it has a relatively strong odor. This also aims to prevent it from being contaminated by flies and the growth of fungi. Bosso can be eaten on alone or even cooked in advance to get rid of its very strong smell.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Ramim Temijaya. I will explain clause of Kadazan Dusun. Okay, as we know, Kadazan Dusun has many ethnic such as Kadazan Penampang, Kadazan Papar, Dusun Loto and another. So, the first clause of Kadazan Dusun is Penampang. Kadazan Penampang has a basic trimming and embroidery and may look a bit plain. The costume young woman consists of a long cylindrical wrap skirt and a sleeveless blouse called sinuanga, and decorated with a gold trimming running along the opening of head and arm, and along the seam at the side and along the middle of the back. Kadazan Perampang of men, dia wear headgear called singa, a very intricately woven square piece of headcloth, hand-woven or embroidered and fall to the shape of the peak of the Mount Kinabalu. Okay, next is Kadazan Papar. The customary woman wear a short jacket with a gold or silver button over a white blouse, and their knit-like black skirt is decorated with a horizontal and vertical cross stitch panel line with a gold thread. The mini chronicle hat is made of a fine bamboo strip and factoral collar faded down or artificial flower at the top to show the wearer marital status. Okay, necklace is Dusun Lotut. Dusun Lotut, the embroidered panel called linen kit, which is used to decorate the skirt, sash and trouser of many Sabah tribes. Strips of linen kit are used by various native tribes to decorate and join the seam of their clothing. The traditional costume of Dusun Lotut, be it the long sleeve ceremonial attire or short sleeve version. Man is wearing headgear called sundi, can be fall in different way. Okay, next is Dusun Tindal. Dusun Tindal is influenced by culture of Bajau Sama in the same district. Three color slash and flare sleeve from the elbow, rainbow like badge, girdle around the hip and also embroidered on the arm and hem of the skirt. On top of color is intensive use of metallic element, line of gold or silver trimming and sequin sew into the blouse and skirt. Two to four himpogot or simpogot.
The Kadazan trip of Dusun is one town. The Kadazan trip and the Dusun trip are actually different trips, but come from the same club. The language of these two trips seem to be the same, only described by slight difference in spelling and pronouns. For example, house is the reference to as walai in the Dusun language and hanim in the Kadazan language. Many others words different only in speaking, such a duo, which is duo in Dusun language and duvo in Kadazan language, and nines which are pronounced sime in Dusun language and sesam in Kadazan language. Over there is the same word as one which is iso in both language and six which is onam.
Hello, my name is Ahmad Zubair bin Japar, and today I will tell you about the culture and dance of race Kadazan. The Kadazan also have their own culture itself, which is they practice the megalithic culture. And the word megalith come from the Greek language, which means large rock. And the culture of a megalith is also important culture for themselves and historically relics for the Kadazans. people located in Penampang. It also parallel to the name Penampang, which comes from the terms Pampang, which means the big rock. And the megalith culture tradition is a tradition of using stone blocks that carve, shape, balance it, or curve it, and place it deliberately as a symbol or given a specific purpose in the culture and customs of the Kadazan community. And these megalithic stones are also known by several names and are expected to give some symbolic meanings as well, such as the oath stone was the place at the guest market as a symbol of sealings of the peace treaty as foundation in business. Tombstone is object of honor, while and then we go to their dance, and the dance is Samazau dance. And the traditional dance of the Kadazan tribe is the Samazau, which is the famous traditional dance throughout Malaysia. In fact, this dance can be used as their ritual dance to fulfill various functions, such as signifying gratitude related to the activities of planting and harvesting rice, and to repel evil spirit, cure disease, and worship the spirits. And the rhythm used while performing this dance is the Mazal rhythm, which is slow rhythm, is slow, and also the dance accompaniment instrument are set of gong and drums. Usually, this Samazal dance is played during the festive day of Kaamatan festivals. And lastly, the Lilliput dance. The Lilliput dance is a dance that originates from the Bisaya ethnic group who live in Borfur area. The Lilliput dance is danced in a circle motion, and this dance is usually danced during ceremony to expel the evil spirits from a person's body and restore his or her spirit. And also, this ceremony will only end after the spirits of the person returns to its original body. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Susun marriages. Firstly, Mary said, the man will appoint an old man who is not from his immediate family to investigate. The representative will go to investigate the parent or surrogate parent of the woman who want to be betrothed. Mary said an arrangement must be made in the morning, not allowed to do in the evening and night. The first intelligence is done to find out whether the woman who wants to be caught is in the process of spying on someone else or is in an engagement. If the woman was in an engagement, the intelligence will be stopped. If the woman is in the process of intelligence from another man, the intelligence will be temporarily suspended until a final decision is obtained from the previous intelligence. If the previous intelligence turn toward engagement, then the later intelligence continue to be cancelled, but if that fail, the later intelligence can be continued. This intelligence is done repeatedly step by step. Propose. When the intelligence is found to be considered, the girl's parent will determine the day on behalf of the male representative to come to carry the inheritance ring. The heirloom ring is called the dream waiting ring. It is made of brass and it must be brought in the morning. Once the girl's parents have got the ring, they must clean themselves on that day as well. They are not allowed to eat or drink anything intoxicating. They must be in a clean condition and they will place the ring under their pillow. That night also one or both of them will once have a dream. The dream has 3 good dream states, which mean the intelligence can be passed on to the courtship process. The second is a nightmare that can be repaired or corrected, meaning the engagement process can continue provided the man has to pay the sugid of the heat of the dream to the person experiencing the dream. Example of dream are like dreaming about broken items such as pots or dishes. Then the broken item were repaired by the man. Third nightmare. An example of a nightmare is dreaming of pots, pans, dishes, jar or any other daily use item that have broken. The intelligent process stopped there and the marriage could not take place. The following day, the girl parent would call all her immediate family to discuss their dream. Engaged. After discussion, the girl's parent will call the male party representative to inform the decision and return the ring. If the dream is good, the engagement process continue. Negotiation between the man and the woman parent revolves only around the term of the marriage delivery, determine the date of the wedding and the large rate or duration of the wedding party. A pre-arranged engagement cannot be denied. Otherwise, the defaulting party will have to pay all or half of the delivery that was determined when tying the engagement first. This payment is made before a customary court. Wedding ceremony. Wedding deliveries consist of various types of food, tool for costume and item to strengthen the spirit. Tassel is a battered nut made of copper or silver. Tassel will be brushed by the bride on the wedding day. The tool for costume is called kinokol, which consists of canang, gong, and tajau picture. These items are also brought on the wedding day and amount is according to the degree of the married person. The type of food is pork or buffalo and the amount depends on the family ability. The animal is given to the bride 2 or 3 days before the wedding day. A tajau containing rice tapai called lihing must be brought on the wedding day. Lihing is tapai that has become alcohol and is drunk and messed at the bride's house. Apart from the 4 basic delivery, there are several other items that are also brought to complete the ceremony. It is based on the promise made during the engagement ceremony and the ability of both parties. As long as the degree of marriage must be met with customary ceremonies, religious veneration, revelry, and eating and drinking. The shortest party is between 2 or 3 days. For those who can afford it, the ceremony is held for 7 to 14 days. They still could not be united on the first day, and not even though the marriage was already valid in terms of their religion and belief. Fastest on the second night, some even for the next week or two. It depends on how big or how long the wedding is. They enable the bride and groom to be united. They will hold a special ceremony in which the couple is required to eat in the same plate and bowl. The ceremony was attended by the families of both parties. The groom parent cannot at all be present at the bride home before the couple is legally united. The most important thing in a wedding ceremony is myohon pinisi, which is the ceremony of changing a lump of rice. To begin the ceremony, the bride and groom sit facing each other in the middle of a circle of girls dressed traditionally in black. In front of them is a pot of rice, and the bride and groom will hold the rice and the pot to make a lump the size of a chicken egg. Then the two will exchange the lump of rice, then eat it. The myohon pinisi ceremony is a wedding vow according to the traditional way. After the ceremony, food and drink were served to the guests present. The gong is sound again, followed by a sumazau dance performance.
The Keamatan Festival. The Keamatan Festival, which means harvest, is celebrated by the Kadazan Dusun as a celebration of a good harvest. The Keamatan Festival is celebrated throughout the month of all meal. This festival only fell on 13 and 31 May. The Keamatan Festival for the Kadazan Dusun is also known as Tadau Keamatan in the Kadazan Dusun language. During the Keamatan Festival, Sabahan wear their traditional collections according to their origin and district and have fun. Festival Mohizan Kerimo is held in August or September when the paddy is harvested. The Mohizan Kerimo is held to adore the spirit of paddy and feed the caps of the spirit of paddy so as to help to fertilize the paddy and product the paddy from the disease or natural disaster. The Mohizan ceremony actually take place in the home of the wealthy Kadazan Dusun tribe. Festival the Habot Kerima is a custom of the Kadazan Dusun tribe practiced by the ancestor of the tribe when building a new house. A family of the tribe who will build a house will ask Bobby Hizan to secure the land of which the house was built.
Hi, my name is Nur'ain binti Muhammad Ali. I will talk about taboos. First, prohibition of marriage. Marriage between the first cousin and the third cousin is prohibited, and the marriage can only be confirmed when the payment of burian or napung has been made. Next, the Kadazan people practice marriage event widely, and when it comes to accepting or rejecting a proposal, the Kadazan people emphasize that the problem is resolved positively. The ceremony should be held on the rising moon, Gumazo, and not on the waning moon, Tumano.
Next, abstinence from male and female relation. These descriptions are for men and women who will behave or behave badly and insultingly, such as Galway. And when arrested or no, the man is required to pay an additional fine on the or kemalut on the girl behalf. The man will marry the girl if she is pregnant. The couple should provide heed to the community if they live together or madagao without any legitimate relationship. It is to clean up the village or area where the couple live. Consequently, the man must pay kemalun for the woman. And last, taboo for death. There are several taboo when it comes to dying. First, bonfire will be built around the house to serve as a fence or to keep evil spirits at bay. Second, the practice of burning buffalo horn in order to ward off ghosts. Of mourning the dead. Mihat, to express sorrow of the deceased dead. 4. Two men are expected to ride horse or buffalo around the community after someone dies. 5. Take a pinch of salt or pinch of rice. The head of Putnya, bad or evil spirit, is removed by salt, while rice is employed to protect the crop from Putnya. The Putnya. 6. The custom of almsgiving among them all alms are made of calico cloth, which serve as a grave flat cloth. In the gloom, the dead and day meal are displayed papakan, and the family of the deceased will be warned of the spirit not returning. Mamupus.
My name is Nur Shahida. For the conclusion, the state of Sabah is distinguished by the presence of a multi-ethnic and multicultural population that lives in harmony with one another and assists one another. It brought out the best and worst of each culture's beauties and eccentricities. Its civilization is characterized by a high degree of cultural variety, which draws a large number of international visitors to the state who are interested in learning about their culture, people, and history, as well as the contrast and similarities in culture amongst races in Malaysia. The culture of the Kadazan Dusun, which is still followed today, must be respected and passed on to future generations, since it is a unique tradition that cannot be found in any other races. Regardless of the cultures found in the Kadazan Dusun community, whether in terms of cultures, food, clothes, language, dance, marriage, festival, taboos, and so on, they must be preserved for future generations so that new generations can learn about the culture that their forefathers and foremothers practiced. As Malaysians, we are grateful and privileged to live in a country that is home to people of all different ethnic backgrounds. Consequently, the participation of all parties is essential in order for all efforts to be fruitful and beneficial to all parties involved. That's all from us. Thank you.